Well, hey, new consultants, welcome and congratulations on starting such a fun new journey with Rodan and Fields. I'm excited to be here today to talk to you a little bit about product training. So my name is Molly Marks and my background is actually in the medical field. And so products and ingredients are my jam. I love learning about it. And I love teaching others about it and teaching you how to be able to talk to your customers about it. So a few things I want to say first is just that if you're anything like me, when you jump into a new opportunity like this, you feel so overwhelmed and like there's so much information and where do I look first and where do I start with learning all this information? And I just want to encourage you and tell you that you don't have to know everything before you start getting busy in Rodan and Fields, okay? So I don't want you, the worst thing you can do is to get paralyzed. Do not get paralyzed with this information. You actually need to know very little to start being successful and start selling product and start talking to people in this business, okay? So I hope you heard me say, you don't have to know everything to really get started with this. But I wanted to give you a little history just on product training in this company. So when I first joined about 4.5 years ago, we had 4 core regimens and that was kind of about it. But lucky for us, as the business has really grown and the company has grown, so has our product line. And so there's a lot more now than just 4 core regimens. And when I originally started learning about our products, I liked to learn every single ingredient and the name of it and what step it was in and why it worked and how it worked. And as the product line grew, I learned 2 things. First of all, that's almost impossible to be able to learn that information and keep it all in your head. And the most important thing really that I learned is that nobody wants to know all that information, okay? So your customers, as you're talking to them and telling them about skincare, they just want to know what it's going to do for them. They just want to know, how is that lotion going to affect my face? What is my skin going to do? How is it going to change? So that is the basis of this training today. Very basic, very simple to give you language to really get off the ground and up and running quickly in your ability to just talk about product, okay? So the most important thing for you to know is that the basis of our company are our 4 core regimens, okay? That is the backbone of our company. That should be the backbone of everyone's skincare. Everyone should be on a core regimen for their skincare. And yes, there's all kinds of fun bells and whistles and lash boosts and creams and serums and eye stuff that boost those regimens and that work alongside great of those regimens. But what you need to really know and to push with your customers is 4 core regimens for taking care of your skin. All right, so we're really gonna kind of just jump in. I'm not gonna go into each step of every regimen. When you got your business kit, you will find inside of each regimen box that there are, what are these called? Brochures. So regimen brochures or inserts that will walk your customer through every single step and how to use it. And I really encourage you to familiarize yourself with each of these for each regimen, okay? They are all found in the Biz Development Library, which you can access through your back office in Pulse. And that alone will be incredible training for you to just read through the information on that stuff. But what I'm going to do today is go through each regimen, tell you what it does for your skin, what you should be telling your customers it does for your skin, and then how to add on some key pieces and stuff, okay? So let's start with history of why there are 4 core regimens. So why 4? Really, there's almost 5 now, but why 4 core regimens? Well, when the doctors, Dr. Rodan and Dr. Fields, were practicing in their dermatology office, they were realizing that people were coming to the dermatology office over and over for the 4 same reasons. They were hearing the 4 same complaints, and they kind of just realized like, hey, this is stuff that we can treat, not in the office. This is stuff that can be treated in your own bathroom. And so how can we, their brains were kind of spinning like, how can we get these products from our office to your bathroom, but in a much quicker, easier way? And so that is essentially what Rodan and Fields did when they went into the direct marketing business. So also familiarize yourself with with the reason the steps build on each other, that again, that's in the brochure or in your back office. But multi-med therapy is a key word that is probably helpful in talking to your customers, that just tells them that, step one preps your skin and builds your skin to a certain level to be able to receive step two. And then step two has certain ingredients that do certain things for your skin and build and prep it to receive step three. And so it's a very stepwise approach, multi-med therapy, and all the steps work together for a reason and for the maximum benefit. So if people want to pick and choose certain steps, which sometimes there's a time and place for that, but rarely, you need to let them know that, hey, if you're missing out one of those key steps, your regimen may not be working to its maximum effectiveness. All right. So those 4 reasons that everyone was going to the dermatology office over and over are our 4 core regimens. Those reasons are sensitive skin, redness, irritation, sensitive skin. Acne, 2 kinds of acne now, that's new for us, but adult onset acne and teenage acne, okay? That's actually the most common treated skin condition in dermatology is acne. Number 3 is sun damage. So brown spots, uneven skin tone, people that have freckles or just big patches of brown on their skin. And then the last one is aging. All things aging. Like, the doctors were so smart in realizing, that the majority of our customers are aging all the time, and that those baby boomers are moving towards 60s and 70s and really want to focus on the prevention of the signs of aging. So let's jump in. So the one of the very first four reasons is redness, sensitivity, irritation, and that regimen that treats that is Soothe. I've got everything here to kind of show you. So the way that I remember this, if you just want some quick little zingers for memory, is that aloe vera is green, and aloe vera calms down redness and irritation, okay? So think of Soothe as aloe, which is for calming redness, irritation. And 70% of people will experience some sort of sensitive skin, redness, or irritation in their lifetime. So at some point in everyone's life, they may need something like Soothe. And if they don't need it, they know someone who does need it. Okay, so even if you're talking to a group of people that are all in their 60s and 70s and they all want Redefine, don't fail to mention Soothe, because they may know someone that oh, my nephew really needs that or whatever. So just word to the wise there. You want to be careful with your language when talking about these regimens. We cannot claim that these regimens treat any condition. So for example, with Soothe, you cannot claim that it treats rosacea. You cannot claim that it treats psoriasis, okay? So our language has to be tailored so that we are talking about what it does to the appearance of your skin. So some things you may say with Soothe are, it decreases the visible signs of redness. It helps with the appearance of peeling. It soothes the appearance of dryness and irritation. So you hear those few keywords in there with decreasing signs, helps with the visible redness. And those are words that need to be key in your vocabulary so that you're not stumbling upon saying, I'm treating redness or rosacea or whatever, okay? There are 4 steps, as with most of these regimens, again, that multi-med therapy. And I'm going to tell you the most important step. Again, you need to go read how each step works and how to instruct your customers. But I want to tell you the most important step in Soothe is step 2. They're all important. Obviously, they all build on each other. But step 2 is kind of the action-packed partner of step 2, or the action-packed piece of step 2. So it has all kinds of calming agents. It has an exclusive peptide technology that basically addresses all things redness and all things irritation. It is also awesome to keep in your beach bag for sunburn and bug bites to use on diaper rash or any kinds of signs of redness, irritation type stuff, all right? One thing that you may hear from your customers with Soothe is that it feels like they're layering on too much, or there's too much product, or their face feels clogged, or they're starting to break out with Soothe. One thing I have found that you need to tell them is make sure they're rinsing step 1 very well. So it's a cream rinse. The instructions actually tell you that you don't have to rinse it at all, but I really recommend using a warm washcloth to get that completely rinsed off. All right, let's move on. So acne, the second reason that people visit, well, it's the number 1 reason, but the second regimen that the doctors wanted to address, and we now have 2 acne regimens. One that is strictly for adult acne. And that is very different from teenage acne. It tends to be more deeper level cystic hormonal acne that takes longer to clear up, and it's painful and it's hard, and people say that they tend to struggle with their whole life in adulthood. You'll often hear people say, I tried everything and nothing worked until I tried Unblemished, which was my story. That was true for me. So some things that you want to know about Unblemished. It has just recently been reformulated to where it now treats acne with anti-aging properties, okay? So it's really one of the only acne regimens that we can claim it does both. It treats the acne, but it's also targeting signs of aging. So things you can say with that is it's going to clear blemishes and prevent new ones, calms down the redness of skin associated with acne, deep cleans pores, controls and reduces oiliness, okay? So again, familiarize yourself with the steps, but the action-packed partner of Unblemished is step 3, and it is a dual pump, so it will have 2 pumps on the top of it. And what makes it so special is that the number one thing typically used to treat acne is benzoyl peroxide. That's what the dermatologist will give you if you show up. That's what you can buy over the counter, okay? Well, benzoyl peroxide by itself tends to be very drying. And so when people start using it, their skin will get so red and so dried out that they stop using it, because then they're peeling and they're flaking, and it's like now we have 2 problems, acne on top of the redness and irritation type stuff. So what Unblemished does that's so different and so special is in the 2 pump thing, 1 pump is a benzoyl peroxide, but the second pump is a calming delivery gel, and it is packed with things like chamomile and lavender and aloe and things that basically will calm and combat that redness and peeling before it ever happens. So it is the reason that it works so well is it delivers the products to a deeper place in the skin and prevents all that irritation that prevents people from stopping to use it. So you see a great consistency with continued use of the product. The step 4 is an SPF sunscreen that actually prevents oiliness. It is my favorite to use under makeup. So if you have someone that has oily skin, you can always recommend step 4 of Unblemished to use underneath their makeup. So the teenage line, sorry, here's what Unblemished looks like if you did not receive that in your kit. It's the purple regimen, 4 steps. The teenage line that was recently released in 2019 is called Spotless. So you have to know if these doctors originally, their like $1 billion, made it big in the spotlights was Proactiv, which was teenage acne. You have to know that they have figured it out and they've probably fine-tuned it if they're doing it again. So here is what Spotless looks like. It's a 2-part, is that backwards for y'all? I don't know. It's a 2-part regimen. So for teenagers, we realize, especially probably our teen boys, they are busy, they're rushed, they're not great at taking care of their skin. So 2 easy steps twice a day is what you're going to tell your customers on that. It's also a great price point, much lower than your Unblemished. And the key words in this, again, it is eliminating bacteria, it's deep cleaning pores, it's clearing blackheads and whiteheads, it's controlling oiliness, all things part of the acne cycle. What's different about Spotless is that it has a new technology called BPO2. So that stands for benzoyl peroxide, O2, oxygen. And they realized that a lot of the cycle of acne had to do with clogged pores. So oiliness and blackheads and just pores that were clogged. So we have 1 step that exfoliates, but the BPO2 technology basically delivers oxygen at a deeper cellular level. So in those clogged pores, it's delivering the benzoyl peroxide, which is the treatment agent, but it's also delivering oxygen to a much deeper place, which is key in treating the acne. 87% of kids that used this in the clinical trial noticed less acne in the first day. So after 2 uses on day 1, they were able to say that they noticed less acne. One thing you want to tell your customers with this, not everyone experiences it, but it can bleach out towels and t-shirts. And so when I typically send a thank you follow-up welcome email for ordering your Spotless, I will give them some tips with use white washcloths, and you might want to use white pillowcases to sleep with or whatever, just so they don't get discouraged if it bleaches some spots on their linens. All right, moving on. Reverse. So reverse, if you want to think about sun damage, it is the yellow box for sun. There are 2 strengths of reverse. So when you think about skin tone and sun damage, typically people fall into two categories. One is like they just have some basic uneven skin tone, whether they have some light brown spots here and there, or some freckles, or just different parts of their face are darker or lighter than others. Then they are going to want to go with reverse brightening, which is for just some basic uneven skin tone, dullness, and freckles. The stronger version of reverse is called reverse lightening, and it is directed at people that are struggling with much darker marks. So that can be larger brown spots. It can be something called melasma, which happens a lot of times with a hormone fluctuation of pregnancy or even menopause, and people will get like a brown mustache or big patches of brownness throughout their skin, and you're gonna want to use reverse lightening for that, all right? Again, it's a 4-step approach that you need to familiarize yourself with, but in both of those regimens, step 3 is the action-packed step. So in reverse brightening, step 3 is gonna come in 2 tubes. They're little tiny tubes, and one has vitamin C and one has retinol in it. And what the doctors found out is that when vitamin C and retinol are packaged together, as with most over-the-counter agents, they become inactive after a little while. So they package them separate and you mix them, and they become active on contact with each other. So most people will mix them on the back of their hand. They'll put a dot of each and then mix together. And that's when they're in their most active state. And that's when you're gonna apply it to your face, okay? And so the vitamin C does a lot of brightening for the dark spots, while the retinol tends to turn over skin cells turns them over quicker so that you can get to that brightening step. It also addresses fine lines and wrinkles. Moving over to the lightening regimen, step 3 actually has an active ingredient called hydroquinone, which I told you I wasn't going to tell you ingredients, but that's important to know because if you go to the dermatologist, one of the very first things they're going to give you to brighten skin is hydroquinone. Well, the doctors were very smart. They're able to give you the dermatology level of hydroquinone by putting half of it in the toner and then half of it in the cream. So again, that stepwise approach is very important, and that is for almost bleaching out those brown spots and evening your skin tone. The SPF in reverse is 50. And the reason for that is if you're doing all this hard work to even out brown skin tone and dark marks and stuff like that, the minute you get back in the sun, a lot of those are going to come back for most people. And so the SPF 50 really protects against the further sun damage, okay? Let's move on to redefine. So we like to kind of joke and say all roads lead to blue. It's very common that your customers are going to have an issue that they need to start on one of these other regimens first, whether it's sensitive skin or acne that they need to address, or a big brown spot or some uneven tone they need to address first. But the hope is that everyone can move on to the anti-aging regimen, which is Redefine. That's where everyone should be able to end up and be able to use daily. So Redefine is all things aging, all right? Words you may use for this is refines the texture. Big one is that it minimizes pores. A lot of people in their older years will start noticing that the actual size of their pores gets better. And so it minimizes pores, shrinks the size of them, decreases the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and visibly firms. Another big thing with aging tends to be loss of elasticity and sagginess or whatever. And so it's supposed to visibly firm up kind of loose, saggy skin. Again, it's a 4-step approach, and the mask, step 1, mask dries in 2 minutes, and you can encourage people to brush your teeth or go lock the doors or take your medicine, whatever you need to do for that to dry up. And then step 2 builds by minimizing the pores. And then step 3, you're gonna either use, there's one for morning that has an SPF in it, and one for evening that really is rich with peptides, which addresses lots of signs of aging. Redefine is best when used with something called our AMP MD roller, and that is one of our tools, one of our bells and whistles that can be added on really to just 2 regimens. So it looks like this, and it is kind of, I always think it looks a little bit like a toothbrush that on the tip of it has a roller, and the roller has 192 teeny tiny stainless steel needles. It sounds horrible. It sounds like torture. It does not hurt at all. But the purpose in this is it will enhance either the reverse or the Redefine regimen by almost 80% quicker results on what they're going for, okay? And it is used after step 2. while their toner is still a little bit wet, they're gonna roll and they're gonna section their head. So they may go up and down on their forehead, and then they may go horizontally, and then they may go vertically. The entire face should take 2 minutes, okay? So again, next section would be up and down, and then horizontal, and then vertical. It almost feels like Velcro. It is not painful. What this is doing, it's a system that's called microneedling. You'll hear a lot about it. And what this is doing essentially is it is poking teeny tiny little holes in your face. Again, it sounds terrible, but it's creating channels so that the next product you put on is actually going to go much deeper and get to a much deeper part of your skin and work better. It's also tricking your body into thinking that it's had an injury. And when your body has an injury, what it does is it releases collagen and elastin, which are key ingredients for plumping the skin. Almost you're healing the wrinkle from the inside out. So it's sort of plumping the skin and diminishing those lines and wrinkles. It's actually a really cool technology, the way that it works. I love learning about it. After you use this, what you want to put on that is the most crucial next step is our Intensive Renewing Serum. It comes in a little glass jar that looks like this in the Redefine line, and it's called Intensive Renewing Serum. It comes vacuum suctioned in a little tiny blue capsule. Oprah calls this her nightcap. But what it is it's retinol. Sounds very similar to retinol, but our technology is pronounced retinol, and it is a highly concentrated retinol. Retinol is the #1 thing used in signs of aging. Again, it turns over the skin cells quicker, and it addresses fine lines and wrinkles by promoting collagen and elastin production. And retinol, why ours is so special, is it's vacuum suctioned, which creates it at a much higher concentration, but it also is gentle. A lot of retinol products will dry and cause you to start peeling and flaking, and people are not finding that to be true with our retinol product. Now, side note, it does go best after rolling, but retinol, now that it has been reformulated, is gentle enough it can be used with every single regimen. So when you are using Soothe, you can actually throw a little anti-aging punch in there. When you're using Unblemished, you can amp up your anti-aging punch. And this most of the time will go, you'll have to really look it up and research to tell your customers, but most of the time it's gonna go between step 2 and step 3. And again, gentle enough, active enough, strong enough to create aging, gentle enough to not cause redness and irritation. Okay, last thing in the Redefine regimen that I want to tell you about is our Redefine Multifunction Eye Cream. We like to joke that this is like a little jar full of angels. When you open it up, it's like the angels sing, and it is for the fine lines and wrinkles around your eyes. You want to instruct your customers it can be used once a day, twice a day. I find it best used at night, and it goes on the bone above and the bone below their eye. And then throughout the night, it will travel and combat those signs of wrinkles. Eyes are the first place that we show signs of aging, and so you want to, it's an easy thing to add on to any regimen by just saying, what kind of eye cream are you using? I'd love to let you try our Redefine eye cream because it will pair with any regimen. Okay, so that is your 4 core regimens. 5 if you count Spotless, but again, the backbone of our company should be the core regimens that every single customer is on. However, there are lots of bells and whistles in our line called enhancements. And so enhancements is basically what I just said. It's going to enhance a core regimen. There are things that can be paired alongside with a regimen. They can be used on their own, but they are designed to enhance your skincare regimen. Starting with Active Hydration Serum. So this little bottle, when you open it, it automatically pulls up the amount that you need, and it's ready to go in a dropper type situation. What this was recently also released, I wanna say maybe 2017, 2018. It is a very high concentration of moisture for your skin. It works in a very different way than most moisturizers. This one draws skin in from the moisture, from the air, from the atmosphere, draws all your moisture from the atmosphere to your skin and then locks it in. And your skin actually adjusts its needs. So it will help your skin adjust its moisture according to what it currently needs. It has a glycerin concentration of 30%, which is used in a lot of moisturizing products, but typically the higher the glycerin gets, the product gets very sticky. And that's sort of a boasting factor of our Active Hydration Serum is it is not sticky. People who use Active Hydration Serum will swear it is a game changer. It can go with every single regimen. So what would you tell someone, why do they need to add this on? What will it do? It actually enhances your regimen. It will increase the results of your regimen, and moisturized skin looks like younger skin. Dehydrated skin tends to be wrinkly and thin and crepey. So if you're moisturized to the max, you're gonna naturally look younger and be glowing, all right? This product, Active Hydration Serum, the core ingredient is also in 2 other products of ours, kind of sister products if you want to call it that. One is called the Active Hydration Body Replenish. It comes in a big jar, and it is a body lotion. We've used a lot of this one, but that is awesome for the neck and the chest area, arms and legs, really wherever you want to use that. Again, drawing moisture from the environment and locking it into your skin. Another one with active hydration in it is the Bright Eye Complex. So a minute ago, I showed you the multi-function eye cream. I tend to recommend this one at night. And then Bright Eye Complex actually has a little caffeine in it. And so it is designed more for the dark, puffy circles under the eyes. It is great to be used first thing in the morning. And it sort of shrinks up the puffiness, brightens that darkness, and again, the overall moisture and the active hydration part of it will lead your eyes to looking younger because they're moisturized. All right, crowd favorite, I'm sure you've heard of it, our Lash Boost. This one kind of rocked the internet when it got launched. It is our lash serum, a conditioning lash serum. Again, this is one you have to be careful with your language on, okay? So what we can boast about Lash Boost is that it will give you longer, fuller, darker looking lashes. Or you can change it around and say leads to the appearance of longer, darker, fuller lashes. So as long as you've got the word appearance or looking in there, you're safe. What is fancy about this? Well, it's actually rich in keratin and biotin. So think about your hair. A lot of products that get recommended to us for our hair is keratin and biotin. Those are hair strengthening products, rich in vitamins. And so if we strengthen our lashes, we increase their cycle. They stay longer on our eyelids. And then as we get new ones growing, we have these thicker, strong lashes as we have new ones, which leads to longer, darker, fuller looking lashes. It is a liquid. When you open it up, it looks like a liquid eyeliner, and you just do one swipe. I guess I should show you here. One swipe, almost like an eyeliner, across the lash line every night, okay? That is how the company recommends that you use it. If people are not faithful at night, I have lots of customers that will use it in the morning, let it dry, and then apply their eye makeup. All right, last but not least is our Enhancements Microdermabrasion Paste. Y'all, this stuff, the joke is that it's like face crack. Everyone who uses it loves it. So why is exfoliation so important to our skin? Well, here you've got these nice, great, quality premium products, and you're packing them on top of dead skin most of the time. Okay, so if we want to get them to the right place of our skin, a lot of times we're gonna want to exfoliate on a regular basis. Remove that top layer of dead skin cells so that the products actually can work on fresh, live skin. Don't know if that makes any sense, but it is a salt and sugar scrub. It's yellow and citrusy. It feels very gritty, and it can be used in place of your face wash 3 times a week. You probably don't want to use it with the Soothe regimen. It can be a little bit irritating, but otherwise, any regimen, it can pair along with any regimen. It can also be used on hands and feet or arms if you have bumpy, dry spots on your arms. And it leads to like baby soft skin almost immediately after you use it, everyone. It's something great to sample because people feel immediate results from it. It's an awesome one to add on, or if you hit a month where someone doesn't need a refill on their regimen, you can recommend throwing this in to use 3 times a week to enhance their regimen, all right? Hence the name Enhancements. So that is your main, those are our main big sellers. There is an entire line called the Essentials line. And think about Essentials as almost like your daily use type stuff. That's gonna be eye makeup remover, makeup removing cloths. Most of our face washes and our regimens are not designed to remove makeup. And so they actually need to remove makeup before they start their skincare regimen. Both of those are great things to do that with. We have a sunless tanner that's a crowd favorite. Foaming sunless tanner does not leave weird streaks or weird smells or orange tint to your skin. There's a body lotion that's one of my personal favorites. It smells really light and yummy, doesn't leave you feeling greasy. There is a body sunscreen of an SPF 30. There's a chapstick lip balm that has SPF in it. So familiarize yourself with essentials. They are great add-on items, especially if someone comes to you one month and says, all I need is step 2, or all I need is my face wash. Those are easy things to kind of add on to fill up their PC cart. Last but not least is our newest line of products called Derma Cosmetics, which is our Radiant Defense. Again, you need to familiarize yourself with it. It comes in 6 tones or 6 colors for skin tone. It is a line. Derma Cosmetic basically means it's a line of skincare that looks like makeup but acts like skincare. Okay, so it is a tinted coloring skincare item that is going to combat signs of aging and provide good nourishment to your skin while also giving you some coverage. So those are things to go back and look at yourself, essentials and the Derma Cosmetics. I hope that this information was so helpful to you, and I hope that it gave you enough of a broad overview that you feel like you've got some tools in your tool belt to really talk to your customers and have a great place to just start having conversation and being able to help them figure out which product is right for them. The beautiful part about this company is that every piece of information you need is in your back office, okay? So it is very easy to go to Pulse and go to the Biz Development Library and click on these different links for these different regimens and read the commonly asked questions and read the stepwise approach of how your customers should be using them, and you will learn so much. So, all right, I think that that's all I have for you, and I hope that that is super helpful. Good luck on your journey. Start talking about skincare. Start sharing what you love about these products. All right, good luck.